Well, hello, Maritza and Ingris and Delasia. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, look what I got before we start. My umbrella's behind me. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, so I got yes, I'm trying to be natural for a little while. My I have my Lemoyne Owen College Cup. Yippee. Hey Charles Beavers. And then I got my Alpha Kappa Alpha keychain. Well, yeah, my lanyard that I can put my keys on. And oh, you are not going to believe this. I don't know, maybe it's just us. Pastor Tony is doing well. Hey Lisa. Hey Lisa. Happy anniversary, Lisa. 4 years today. Right now, we would have been at the restaurant having the reception. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know. Put it in the chat if you know. This right here is amazing. We stayed at the Four Point Sheraton a lot on the trip. Hey, Sonia Tab. Do you know they now have big lotion? I don't know if I'm supposed to take it or not, but I did. This lotion is amazing. Feels really good. Really, really, really good. Well, listen, you guys have got to hear about um, you got to hear about this trip, right? The lessons that we learned. And of course, God is so good because he always, always, always gives me just what I need to share with you all for the lesson because we got so many lessons while we were gone. But today's devotional was amazing, and I can wrap it all up with what we did. Remember, get me when I say I am not going to be doing Hey, Yvette Mothershed, thank you, thank you, thank you for being on tonight. I got 3 points tonight. I got 3 points that I learned from this trip. Hey, Phoebe, and I am so happy, glad. Y'all don't even know how glad I am to be back. I know some of you saw me 2 Saturdays ago. Yeah, 2 Saturdays ago when I had a kind of a breakdown because I was leaving Sage Simon II at Lemoyne Owen. Remember? Here go my cup, Lemoyne Owen. Ain't it pretty? And I had a little bitty moment, but I'm over that. But you know what? Today I was on Sharon's broadcast, Living a Life That Matters. Life That Matters. And I was on her show and we were talking about the trip. Now, last night, if you were on Bible study, you heard a little bit, but I wanted to go over some of the lessons that are pertinent to us today. If they hit me, I know they're going to resonate with you guys too. So here's my devotion. Let me give you the scripture so you can go. If you want to go, you can go. If not, don't you love my pink glasses? I'm into pink so much. But today's participative, so you gotta keep going in the chat. So this is something that's familiar. But even though it's familiar, this is why we need to read the word every day. And I'm talking to myself. This is why we need to read the word every day because it illuminates and it changes and it gets to you when you think you don't even know, right? Or you think that you already know. This right here changed my life today. It's Luke 5:5. It's the NIV version. And it says, Master, listen carefully, because this was our whole trip. Master, ... Because you say so, I am. And that's good old Peter. We talked about Peter last week, how he just steps ahead of God just so much. Not all the time, but just so much. And that's us. We love to tell God what we want him to do, and how we want him to do it. You think about that. You take a sip. I tried something new tonight, y'all. It's called, it's a Starbucks cafe, 2F's latte. Take a sip. And it's made with oat milk and cinnamon. Ooh, it's good. So let's just delve into this, shall we? And then as parents, I've got some questions for you tonight. You say, what happened to the verse in Galatians 6 that promises whatever you sow, you will also reap? Because we've been sowing a lot of junk. Okay, I said that wrong. We've been sowing a lot of stuff that I thought I was sowing some good stuff, but I'm getting jacked up. But anyway, I gave it my best shot. That's that book, Charles Beavers, that you bought early. I gave it my best shot. I trusted, I sacrificed, I did the right things, yet I reaped nothing. Whether it's a lack of reaping in your finances, stop right there. If it's in your finances, that was on the trip. If it's your job, I'm looking for one. Your marriage, that's good right now. Children, those 3 are in college. The 4th one is living life and adulting. Or ministry, that too. It's discouraging and sometimes makes you feel like quitting. How many of you in your life, in your ministry, in your marriage, in your business, in anything, in your job, how many of you have felt like quitting? Like, I'm just going to throw in the towel. God, I've been praying. God, I've been doing, and I don't see nothing coming to pass. Or is it just me? How many? I'll wait for you. I'll take a sip. How many of you have wanted to do? Thank you. Well, you wanted to quit. You don't want to do this. All right. Well, look, here we go. So the disciples were experienced fishermen. So let's just put yourself into this. The disciples were experienced fishermen, but they had fished all night and caught nothing. So now they were what? Discouraged. And that's when Jesus showed up. Let's go back. They had fished all night. Sounds like us. I've been writing all night. I've been writing a long time. And I accomplished nothing. As a matter of fact, I have an article right now that I asked to do a redo and let me do it over. Let me tweak it because I don't like it. It's not me. It's just not me. So they were experienced fishermen. You're experienced. So they were experienced. And when you're getting, let me tell you something about us. When we are experienced or we think we're experienced, when other folks try to tell us something, we're like, oh, I got it. No, you are never too old and you are never too experienced to learn something new. Okay, put my readers on. So they caught nothing. So the disciples are now discouraged. Now put yourself in that, Charles Beavers. Put yourself in that. Okay, that's what I did. I am now discouraged, right? Then it says, and that's when Jesus showed up. Stay with me. I got to finish this. When they thought there was nothing more that could be done, he, as in Jesus, stepped into their boat. Think of you. You have all your things that you've done. You've done it all on your own. And then when you just have had enough, Jesus steps into your boat. Okay, let me finish. All right, so, and he still works that way. I jumped ahead. He still works that way. As long as you, as long as you think you can handle the situation yourself, Jesus knows you will keep trying to. He waits until you have exhausted your resources and acknowledged that you are out of options. That's when he gets involved. That's when Jesus steps in. Put out into deep water and let down the nets for a catch, he instructed. That's Luke 5:4. Peter replied, we have already tried that. And the fish, they just aren't biting. Haven't you told God, we learned 2 weeks ago that 3 weeks ago, stop trying to do it on your own and stop trying to get ahead of God and just shut your mouth and listen. Remember, Peter was on the mountain, him and James, and Peter was so busy trying to build a monument to Jesus and Moses and Elijah. He wasn't listening. And finally, God had to come in the cloud and go, shut up, Peter. That's us. Because you know so much. You admit it. You know so much that you can't listen to nobody else. And you especially can't listen to God. God be trying to talk to us, whisper to us, tell us, and we are just like, you talking to me? Yeah, he talking to you. Yeah, he talking to me. He talking to us. So then it says, okay, so the fish aren't biting. Maybe Peter was thinking, this is us, Lord, you're the preacher, but I'm the professional fisherman. Lord, you're Jesus, but I got this. If there was anything out there, I would have caught it. That's Peter's thinking. What is he telling us to do? So, if there's anything out there, I would have caught it. Jesus was saying, this time, here we go, underline this and write this down. The fishermen have gone through all they could go through. And finally, Jesus says, try it my way. I'll wait. Try it my way. Try it my way. Jesus is saying to you, try it my way. Jesus is talking to me. Laura, try it my way. Try it your way. Try it my way. So Peter replied, Master, here's the point. Master, because you say so, I will. And that's when the miracle happened. Hallelujah. Whatever Peter thought or felt, he obeyed Jesus anyway. Stop right there. However Peter felt, he stopped and obeyed Jesus anyway. Whatever Peter felt, he stopped. Whatever he felt, but he did it Jesus's way. How about you? We are good for not listening to Jesus. First of all, we don't listen. Then when we do listen, we know more, or we think we know more. I'm going to do it my way. How that working out for you? I had a girlfriend, Cheryl Kemp, said to me, how your life going? And I said, oh, I was doing this, and this, and this. And Cheryl looked at me and said, so how that working out for you? I'm going to ask you, how is doing it your way working out for you? How it working out for you? How's it working out for you? Dr. Charles Beavers last night, as if we were in person. Let me tell you something. I don't care. This is just coming right now, downloading. I don't care. Go on and pay your tithes. Hear me? Because when you do that, miracles happen. Okay. Whatever Peter thought or felt, he obeyed Jesus anyway. I think I need to say that again. Whatever Peter may have thought or felt, he obeyed Jesus anyway. Like that adverb, anyway. All right. That too is when your situation begins to change. When you're clueless and helpless, like me with a website, this right here on the Facebook, you need an author page. Okay, I did that. I still don't know what I'm doing. Facebook says we're going to monetize you. I got 40 cents for December, a whopping 40 cents. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to trust God. I'm going to obey Jesus anyway. So then it says, when there is no way out, when you're thinking there's no way out, just get quiet and listen. Ooh, don't that sound familiar? Get quiet and listen. Get somewhere, pray and sit down. That means listen. Remember he said in Matthew 17, 1-5, when I talked about that, and I said, God told Peter, shut your mouth. Think, pray, listen, then act. Okay? So God is telling us, go be quiet and listen. Just go be still and listen. Sit down, pray, and listen. And Jesus will tell you what to do. Go sit down somewhere and pray, be quiet, listen, and Jesus will tell you what to do. All right. And when he does, even though you have questions, say, Master, because you say so, I will obey. Then prepare for the results only God can give. Woo! That's good, because that's us. It still ties back into Matthew 17, 1-5. It still ties back into 1 Thessalonians 5. Be obedient to God. And Joshua 1:9. Be of good courage. I'll never leave you or forsake you, right? He's not going to leave you. So get over yourself. I don't know who that's for. Stop trying to do it on your own. Stop trying to go on your own way. Oh, here we go. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. In everything you do, put God first. He will lead and guide you, and he will crown your efforts with success. You know, we own that. We own that. We own that. Do what God tells you to do. Be found doing, ain't said this in a long time. Be found doing the last thing God told you to do. Stop trying to figure it out. Just do it. Be like Peter. I don't know what you talking about, God. We done fished all night. That's what it says. We ain't caught nothing. We are professionals. We know what we're doing. We've been fishing all night. The fish aren't biting. And you're telling us to put the nets down one more again? No. But he didn't say no. God says to you, talk to your sister. No. Talk to your brother. No. Encourage your family, your wife, your husband, whatever. Your brother, your sister. No. Be with your enemy. No. We don't want to do any of that. Forgive those who despitefully use you and who dog you and who are haters. No. That's what we do. God, we don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Forgive who? Not. I will not. Pay your tithes. I will not. I got another bill, so I'm going to give you a little bit. That's what we do. But Peter, see, remember I told you week before last, don't do everything Peter does. So when Peter was just all over the place, don't be like that. But do this. He had fished all night. They were done. And Jesus says, God the Father, God the Son. So Jesus, the Son of God says, put your nets back down. Nevertheless, then prepare for results only God can give. And so Peter was like, I'm going to do this. And then, as my husband likes to say, we tell it our way. And then Peter and the other people had a net. What is that? A net breaking, boat sinking experience where they just had to share. Where are you in all this? I see you, Ingris. Where are you in all this? How many? Just raise your hand. I'm taking account tonight. We're going to be accountable to one another. Where are we? Where are you? Are you doing what God told you to do? Let me tell you something really quick about the trip. So we're on the trip. And yeah, I'm going to roll over on Tony Simon because I'm going to roll over on myself because we take turns. We take turns doubting, right? And so the whole trip, even before the trip, Tony Simon's been up at night. He'd be praying for the church members, praying for me, praying for the kids, praying for the world, praying for the MLK Day, praying for the parade. He'd be praying. And I'd be sleeping and snoring. I is not worried right now. You know what? Here's the thing. I haven't even told Tony Simon. You know why I don't worry anymore? Because I did so much worrying in the beginning of our marriage. Well, the kids gonna die in they sleep? Are they gonna have the SIDS? Oh, are they gonna be hurt? Oh, who's gonna be their friends? Do people like them? Do people like us? How long will we pastor? Will we be at the church? Will we ever have any money? Will we always be in debt? Will we always? Is it finances? Is it the marriage? Is it the church? Is it your parents? Is it your siblings? It's always something. I don't worry about it anymore because God has done so many miracles in our life. We got the time I had the twins. No, Jonathan, I need to figure out how to pay and get him out the hospital. And God came through. That was a $134,000 bill. He came through. He came through for the twins. He came through for Kennedy. He came through for all the ectopic, just all kind of stuff. He has come through. The house we're sitting in, wasn't supposed to get it. He did that. But then on the trip, The whole entire trip was a miracle trip. God showed himself, like he showed out. I already told y'all how. I don't know if you've been on the lives or anything else, but let me tell you, when I text the kids when we were driving on our way to Houston to see Tony Simon's cousin Stacy and Destin. Let me tell you, to me, he was driving like a bat in the rain, and it was pouring down, and I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. And I asked him, "You gonna drive like this in the rain?" I said, "I'm gonna pray." Put my hand up, and I asked God to stop the rain until we got to Stacy's house. Yes, I did. This is the kind of faith God wants us to have. He wants us to have childlike faith. What kind of faith do you have? Childlike faith. In that moment, I knew that I knew that I knew God was going to come through for me. I didn't even have a doubt. I'm like, God, in the name of Jesus, will you stop this rain? I'm scared. And I don't like him driving in that. I want us to get home to Stacy safe. And do you know our God, our Father? Yes, God, our Father, stop that rain for me. Like it stopped. Like it stopped raining. And it did not start raining until I put my foot out the door when we got to Stacy and Destin's house. Tony, when he got out the door, it wasn't raining. But when I opened that door, God said, I promised you, but now I'm put it back. And he did. I felt like Moses. I felt like Elijah. I just was like, God, you are good. You know what it felt like? It felt like that time on my wedding day when God stopped time for me. I said, God, I need time to get ready. I'm late. My mom is mad. The bridal party is upset with me. Where you been? I was typing up the list for the reception, so Josh could be out there checking folks off. He stopped time between 3 and 3:30. Time stood still. God is amazing. And why do we doubt him? Are you doubting him? What is in your heart that you are desiring from God, from the Lord, and you are like, doubtful? You can't have a wavering mind. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. When it came time to get Jonathan into school, God did that. Put him in a nice dorm, nice big dorm, and he's doing well. When it came time to put Sajel at Lemoyne, those people, including Melissa Oshodi, Mrs. O, they were like, whatever you need to help your son, we will do it. My mom and dad are friends. We will do it. And then we took Sydney right on back to Philander. And that's where we met April, who went to Philander, who graduated from Philander, who was also in the choir, just like Sydney. Found Sydney someone to fix her uniform and the school. I'm not gonna lie. The school the church that she attends is 1, 2, 3 streets. I said 2 last night. It's 3 streets over from the campus, from Sydney's dorm. 1, 2, 3. She can walk to church. That's a God ordained moment. How many moments are you missing out on because you won't be obedient? How many things are you missing out on? And then the other thing I got from Crystal Evans Hurst is you need to write it down. I now have this book. Let me show you. And then I'll put it all together for you. I now have this book that I sit on the side of my bed. I have 2. I have the L from Maritza and this one. I put it on the side of my bed. So when God wakes me up between 3 and 5, if I have some notes, I write it down. Write it down. Write it down so it is not lost. Whatever vision God has given to you, write it down, make it plain. Then you know what to do. You know what your purpose is. And then you can live your life out loud for Christ. Don't be like me. Because there are times that I hoard Jesus to myself and don't tell nobody about him. Forgive me, Lord. So here are my 3 points. Just like Peter, I told you last week, don't always be like Peter. But I'm telling us this day, we're going to be like Peter. We're going to do a nevertheless. We're going to have a nevertheless experience. Nevertheless, at thy will. Okay? That's the King James version. Nevertheless, at thy will. At this version, it is because you say so. God, Jesus, because you said so, I'm going to do it. Nevertheless, nevertheless, because Jesus said so, do it. And then a lot of times when Jesus tells you stuff, when God downloads you, it doesn't make any sense. So what? Do it anyway. It doesn't make any sense. Do it anyway. What did I say? A lot of times, God drops something into your spirit and you don't want to do it. You think it's absolutely stupid. I do. Some days Jesus be talking to me and I'm like, for real, I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm not doing that. I wish I knew sign language, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Lord, I need you to forgive. I'm not doing that. So I can forgive you. Oh, that part. You got to be obedient. Obedience in 1 Samuel, obedience is better than sacrifice. You look, Saul. Don't be like Saul, who got beside himself and just got himself right out of kingdomness. No longer the king. And David just came right on in because God was like, I'm done with you. Don't be so crazy that God is done with you. Do the last thing God told you to do. Here go my 3 points. Number 1, step out. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your boat. Step out of your raggedy life. Step out of your complacent life. Step out of your comfy, cushy life. Whatever. Because, a lot of us like to say, that ain't me. She said, comfortable life. That I don't have a comfortable life. Okay. Your comfortable life. Your complacent, I'm not going to do nothing life. Your raggedy, it's raggedy life. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of the box, step out of the way. How about that? Step out of God's way. Step your booty out of God's way. Get out your own way so that God can do what he needs to do. He told Peter, finally, when you're helpless, when you're clueless, when you don't have any idea what's going to happen, what you're going to do, that's when God does his best work in your life, my life. Remember the book? Remember I was telling y'all about the book? It wasn't going to come out till October 21st, and good old Charles Beavers had it on September 21st. God show fix me, huh? Be vulnerable, be humble, sit yourself down and pray and listen and then march forward. Because if you listen, if you're quiet, God will download into your spirit what he wants you to do. Step out. Number 2, Peterettes and Peters, try it God's way. Do it Jesus' way. He tells Peter, drop the net. In my mind, he's like, if you don't drop that net and see what I'm going to do for you. Nevertheless, not you, not my will, your will. And then number 3, coach, not control. Allow God to coach you. And you stop trying to control the narrative and control everything. I got that from the Reverend Dr. Tony Simon. His legal name, the Reverend Dr. Sajal Anthony Simon Sr. That's where I got that from. Coach, don't control. Look at here. God is trying to coach you through your life. But you don't even want to be coachable. You just want to control. You want to do it your way. I'm going to do it my way. You know that song, I did it my way. That's us. We are determined to do it our way. Stop it. Listen to God. Shut your mouth. Be still. And then move forward. Step out. Try it God's way. And let him coach you. And stop trying to control everything and everyone. When it comes to the kids, this is what we learned. It's their journey. Okay? It's your journey. Nobody else's. It's your journey. So we said it's Kennedy, Sajel, Sydney, and Jonathan's journey. That's number one. It's their journey. It's their God. He is their God too. He's their God. He's their Father. I learned today from Sharon Elliott, Psalms 127, 3-5, talks about how children are a heritage to us, an heirloom. They are valuable, but they were given to us from their Maker, from their Father, which is God. So it's their journey, their God, and their way. We letting Jonathan just work it out. We letting Sajel just work it out. We're letting Sydney just work it out. And Kennedy, work it out. You know why? We are no longer going to get in their way. And if they get the snot beat out of them, oh well. Don't you remember when you used to get the snot beat out of you? So if your kids, if your loved ones, husband, wife, sister, brother, mother, father, if they're acting up and they're not being obedient and they're not doing the last thing God told them to do, yeah, let them get the snot beat out of them. Oh, God has a way of humbling you and making you see it His way, through His eyes, how He wants you to do it. Because you can't make Him do anything He don't want to do. He is not your genie. Remember that. Step out, try it God's way, and be coached. And stop trying to control. And your kids, I just love this. It's their journey, their lessons, their God, their way to work it out. You get out of the way before you get the snot beat out of you. Yeah. And we don't want any more of that, do we? So go back to Matthew 17, 1-5. If you need to get an understanding, be quiet and pray. Go sit down somewhere. Listen and then act. On this one, you can be like Peter. Nevertheless, at thy will. Not my will. So because God said so, do it. Have a wonderful night. I went over by 3 minutes, but I thank you for being with me. As you can tell, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what God is going to do. I now ask God, I tell God, surprise me. Surprise me. What are you going to do next? Ask God, what are you going to do for me next? And then turn around and say, God, what do you want me to do for you? Let's build the kingdom, y'all. Let's make history. Have a good night, and I love you all. Thanks. Can't get off right now, not because I don't know how. Ooh, all this stuff is over my clear. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. See you soon. And stay safe. And don't be driving in the rain if you don't have to.